They will smile at you the moment they think you have money. They will vanish the moment they think you don't. And somewhere in between, you will learn the most brutal lesson wealth ever teaches a man. The more visible your riches, the more invisible your safety becomes. Niccolo Machiavelli spent his life studying power, not from a throne, but from the shadows of exile, betrayal, and ruin. He watched kings fall not because they were weak, but because they were seen. He watched merchants rise not because they were loud, but because they were silent. And from that silence, he drew a truth that most people never learn until it's too late. Visibility is a tax. Every eye that sees your success sends a bill. And one day, that bill comes due. Think about the last time someone found out you were doing well, not just fine. Well, did they celebrate with you? Or did something shift in their eyes? A flicker, a pause, a distance that wasn't there before. That flicker is not jealousy in the way people describe it. It's older than jealousy. It's the human animal recognizing a threat to its own position in the pack. You didn't do anything wrong, you just became visible. And visibility to the wrong eyes looks like a challenge. This is the part nobody wants to admit. We are taught to chase recognition. We are taught that success means being seen, being known, being celebrated. Post the car, post the vacation, post the promotion. But Machiavelli understood something that modern life has buried under likes and followers. Recognition is not the same as respect, and attention is not the same as power. In fact, the moment you become known for what you have, you start being seen as a person and start being seen as a target. History does not lie about this. The richest houses of Renaissance Italy were not destroyed by armies first. They were destroyed by whispers, by neighbors who once smiled at their gates, by cousins who once broke bread at their tables. Wealth displayed becomes wealth discussed. Wealth discussed becomes wealth resented. And resentment, given enough time, always finds a reason to strike. So ask yourself something uncomfortable. How many people in your life know exactly how much you make? How many know exactly what you own, what you've saved, what you're building behind closed doors? And of those people, how many have you actually seen be happy for you, without a flicker of something else underneath? This is not paranoia. This is pattern. And patterns ignored become tragedies. Machiavelli's world was one of constant calculation, where survival depended on reading intentions before they turned into actions. He knew that the fox does not announce where it is going. The fox moves. Low, moves quiet, and only shows its strength when the moment demands it. Never before. Compare that to how most people move today. They announce every step, every deal, every gain. They mistake noise for confidence, but confidence was never loud. Confidence has never needed applause. What needs applause is insecurity wearing a expensive disguise. Here is the twist most people never see coming. It is not your enemies who destroy you when you become visible. It is the people closest to you, the ones who watched you when you had nothing, the ones who remember who you used to be, because for them, your growth is not just success. It is a mirror that shows them exactly where they stopped. And people rarely forgive the mirror. They resent it. This is why the ones who rise the fastest often fall the hardest. Not because they made bad decisions with money, but because they made a fatal decision with perception. They let the world watch every step of the climb, and the world, especially the parts of it standing still, does not enjoy watching someone else move up while they stay exactly where they are. Machiavelli never said be dishonest. He never said be cruel. What he said, in essence, across every page of Struggle and Strategy, was this: protect what matters by controlling what is seen. Because power unprotected is not power. It is bait. Think of the lion and the fox, the two natures Machiavelli believed a wise man must carry inside himself. The lion's strength means nothing if it walks into a trap it never saw. The fox's cunning means nothing if it never knows when to strike. Wealth without invisibility is a biwa. Lion walking in daylight through a forest full of hunters. It doesn't matter how strong you are if everyone already knows exactly where to aim. So what does invisibility actually mean in a world obsessed with being seen? It does not mean hiding in shame. It does not mean living small out of fear. It means mastering the art of quiet accumulation. It means understanding that the people who truly hold power in this world are rarely the ones trending. They are the ones no one is even watching, because they made themselves boring to the eyes that only look for weakness or gain. It means learning to separate your identity from your image. Your worth is not what other people know about you. It is what you have built that no one can take, precisely because no one knew where to look. There is a reason ancient wisdom across cultures, not just Machiavelli, but merchants, strategists, survivors of empires, all arrived at the same conclusion from different roads. Silence is not weakness. Silence is armor. The moment you explain yourself, defend yourself, or display yourself, you have already given away information that can be used against you. And in every negotiation, every relationship, every rivalry disguised as friendship, information is currency. The one who reveals the least controls the most. This is where the deeper truth begins to surface. Becoming invisible is not about others. It is about you. Because here is what nobody tells you about visibility. It is addictive. The moment people start noticing you, you start needing them to keep noticing you. You start making decisions not for growth, but for optics. You buy things to prove something. You share things to justify something. Slowly, without realizing it, you are no longer building wealth for yourself. You are building a performance. For an audience that will abandon you the second the show gets boring, or worse, the second it becomes profitable for them to tear you down. Machiavelli would call this the death of the prince from within his own palace. Not conquered by an outside army, but hollowed out by his own need to be witnessed. So the brutal lesson is this: if you want to build something real, you must be willing to look from the outside, like you are building nothing at all. Let the ones who need applause chase it. Let the ones who need approval perform for it. You, however, are playing a different game. A longer game. A game where the real reward is not being seen as powerful. It is having power that nobody saw coming, because they never saw it building in the first place. This does not mean you isolate yourself from the world. It means you choose with precision who deserves access to your true position. Not everyone who smiles at you has earned your transparency. Not everyone who calls themselves close to you has earned the right to know your next move. There is a sign that separates the wise from the foolish in this world, and it has nothing to do with intelligence. It is discipline. The discipline to stay quiet when you want to boast. The discipline to build in private when you're desperate to be validated in public. The discipline to let your results speak so quietly that only the people who matter can hear them, because in the end, this is the mistake almost everyone makes with power and with money. They think the goal is to be admired. But admiration invites eyes, and eyes eventually turn into hands, reaching for what you have. What you actually want is respect built on mystery, not admiration built on exposure. So here is the final truth, and it will not feel comfortable, but it will feel true. The world does not need to know what you are building. The world does not need updates on your climb. The world does not deserve access to the architecture of your life just because it is curious. Let them wonder. Let them assume. Let some of them even underestimate you, because underestimation in the right hands is the deadliest weapon of all. Machiavelli understood centuries ago what most people are still learning the hard way today. Power that is seen invites war. Power that is hidden invites peace, right up until the moment you choose to reveal it on your own terms. So the next time you feel the urge to prove something to someone, to show them how far you've come, to let the world see the numbers behind your success, pause. Ask yourself who truly benefits from that visibility. Ask yourself what you are protecting and what you are exposing. Because if you want to be rich, truly rich, in a way that lasts and cannot be stolen by whispers, betrayal, or envy disguised as love, you do not need the world to see you shine. You need the world to never see you coming.